Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Happy Saturday night. Nice little Saturday night special, right? We're changing up a little bit. I told you this year in 2021, changing the game a little bit. So let me first and foremost go ahead and just kind of pause. As you guys know, I'm trying to increase the number of people who are subscribed to the channel, who watch the channel. So if you can do me a couple favors. Number one, please hit the like button below. Also hit the subscribe button throughout the video, at the end, whenever. Drop me a comment, let me know what you think. And then also I will say, I got a lot of feedback from people saying, hey, Bourbon Judge, we want to support you. Go ahead and please, set up a Patreon page so we can get more videos out there, better quality, and also more bourbon to be reviewed, right? So I action your feedback. I always listen to you guys. So go ahead and check me out. I'm now live on Patreon. So, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you for everyone who's already became a Patreon member for the Bourbon Judge. And first and foremost, thank you to my man, Tony Lima, who is the first person to subscribe as a Patreon member for the Bourbon Judge. So shout out to you, Tony. I appreciate you, my man. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, right? So obviously you see this lovely bottle. We know it's Stagg Jr. And this one is batch 15, right? So let's talk about Stagg Jr. a little bit. So, first and foremost, I will put actually up above all the links to every Stagg Jr. that I ever reviewed on the channel, right? So, but I'm gonna give you what I call the Cliff Notes version, right? Made by Buffalo Trace, MSRP typically like in that $60 range, age, let's call it anywhere from 7 to 9 years. So it's in that range. And we know Stagg Jr. is slightly hard to find, but not impossible, right? I mean, you put a little work into it, like anything else, you can't find it. I'm gonna go ahead and pour some real quick while we keep talking. The last thing I'll say about Stagg Jr. is that, it really competes with the whole, who else does it compete with? You think of like your budget-friendly barrel-proof bourbons. Your Elijah Craig barrel-proof, your Larceny barrel-proof, even Bell Mead, right? So it kind of competes in that whole barrel-proof range of those barrel-proof budget bourbons. Let me go ahead and just pour this real quick. Now, I will say, Bourbon Judge does some deep pours. I will say, batch 14, the last one, that was the first batch where truly it was very just almost like listening to the calm app while you're also hanging out and some good friends and just kind of relaxing, right? It was a very chill type of a bourbon. It was not your normal Stagg Jr. just knock you out. So I will be interested to see whether or not if batch 15 kind of returns to the normal Stagg Jr., which is that thunder, right? I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and get into the color. Very nice. Traditional dark brown, right? We know this is a uncut, unfiltered, barrel-proof bourbon. All right, let's get into the nose. All right, so the nose is it's doing its thing. It's So on the nose, you get a lot of the traditional Stagg Jr. notes. You get your caramel, your brown sugar, some pepper. Let it come in and out. Some cinnamon. Interesting, okay. Very nice. And very, very faint notes of like raspberries kind of in there. Very faint notes like raspberry, almost like a very like, and almost like some licorice as well. Some black licorice is in there. All right. So the nose is very, I guess, traditional Stagg Jr. from a nose standpoint. Well, it's been a long day, and there's only one way to see whether or not this bad boy is good or not. Might as well go ahead and sip it. Ooh, that wasn't good. Cheers. Salute. Okay. Woo. Wow. I'll tell you one thing. Traditional Stagg Jr., you always know when it's really has that punch when your eyes start to water a little bit, right, as you swallow. That's pretty powerful. But before I give a final judgment, let me just make sure, a little bit more, a little bit left in the glass here. All right. Woo. That has some fire to it, folks. So before I give you a judgment, a couple things. Number one, everything from the nose transfers to the palate. Your caramel, your brown sugar, the pepper, that spiciness for the pepper, that black licorice, as well as like those that berries that mixed in there. The only thing that was in the palate that was different than the nose was maple syrup. I didn't get the maple syrup in the nose, but I got it in the palate. Folks, you guys know me. I'm always going to keep it real. I'm going to give you a straight up verdict. The verdict is in. Stagg Jr. Batch 15 is back to the grind. It's the real Stagg Jr. This is a buy, a straight up buy, all day, all night. Again, we said there were some differences with 14, which was still really good, but this is the truth. And I mean, wow, really that damn good. Hey, I appreciate everyone out there watching the channel. Thank you all for watching. Two things left. Number one, please make sure you catch me tomorrow night. There is a special guest judge coming on tomorrow night. And then number two, I've done a lot of Stagg Jr. in the last, let's call it a year or so. So I think it's time for a Stagg Jr. taste-off. However, you guys know we need to wait for our favorite judge for that, right? Our favorite guest judge, I should say. We'll wait for Cousin Nita before we do the Stagg Jr. taste-off. Peace, cheers, salute. Thank you guys. Later.